Hey there! Today we're going to have a look at a pen. It came in this box. Ooh, what could it be? It is in fact the Sailor Lecoule. And the Lecoule was sent to me by Cult Pens. So thank you to Cult Pens. Sailor Lecoule, interesting pen in the, I would say, starter range of Sailor. And I'm going to cover the parts of the pen. I will do a writing sample and I'll tell you what I like about it, what I don't like about it. But my first question was, what exactly does Lecoule mean? So I asked an expert on everything. No, it won't work. No, 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 no. No, 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 not at that price. No, tell Harry that I cannot... What? There you are. Professor Dr. Darkman Dangby here, is Chair of Penology at Cambridge University. Now, today we have to talk just a little bit about the meaning of the word Lecoule. What does it mean? What could it mean? What could it mean? What could it mean? Professor Dr. Darkman, what could it mean? Nothing. The word Lecoule means absolutely nothing. But I mean, it doesn't mean absolutely nothing. I mean, the word Lecoule means not a thing. But I mean, it doesn't mean not a thing. The word Lecoule has no meaning. Yes, let's put it that way. I think that's the best way to avoid confusion. No, it means nothing. Absolutely nothing. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Why would they call it that? I don't know. Don't ask me. Ask them. How would I know? Anyway, glad to have seen you again. I have to arrange something, so I will be off now. Back to Brown. Bye. Okay, so the Sailor Lecoule. In this case, the the horizon blue finish. I'm just showing you the box. Sailor box. It looks a bit messy in there, but that's my fault. I didn't put anything where it should be. A little pen sleeve. I ripped this open, but it comes with two black Sailor cartridges. This is one. The other one is in the pen, and it comes with a little, little information pamphlet on inking your pen, etc. Then you have this cute little pen bed. You can lift this up so you could put all that stuff in the bottom and then put the pen in there should you want to do so. Now let's look at this pen. I'm going to zoom in a bit. Yeah, this is in my mind a smaller pen. It's I'll put it right next to Lamy Safari for you. It's a smaller pen. I wouldn't quite go so far as to say this is a pocket pen, but it's not big, right? It's not big. Several finishes available, and as I said, this is the horizon blue. The nib is MF only, so that's the sort of I think the medium fine that Sailor does. And it's a special edition, and in the UK, Cult Pens is the only one to actually carry it. They say on their website, so that's good to know if you want to order one. Cartridge converter, no converter supplied. And we'll get to that. Let's cover the parts of this pen. So the finial is nice clear plastic. Then you get a blue transparent plastic for the barrel, and then a clear end cap again, which makes for a nice balance. I like those clear ends. That adds just a little bit of visual appeal, I think. Let me take a sip here. Sorry. Just a little bit of visual appeal to the pen, and in my mind elevates it a little bit from just transparent blue plastic. The clip, simple, Sailor clip, yeah, it's a clip, it works. We have Lecoule on this side, and on the other side it says Sailor Japan. We have a metal center band. We have the barrel tapering down, and we have this clear end bit, which would also make me not want to use this as an eyedropper. I don't know if this would leak. Pen unscrews, the cap unscrews. We have the section, tapers down, flares out just a tiny bit, and then we have that steel nib, which there is some light going on here because it's getting to be winter, but there is the little Sailor anchor on it. You can see it's a very simple nib. One thing that I absolutely love is it has a clear feed. I really love clear feed. So it has black ink in it right now. That means that if you look at it like heads on, it looks black, but once you turn it, you see that in reality it's actually clear plastic, which I've always enjoyed. And especially if you look at the breather hole, you can actually look through the feed through the breather hole. Not something I spend all day doing, but I just think it's a cool feature. Barrel and screws. Yeah, Sailor cartridge. Now, you don't get a converter with the pen. Bear in mind, in US, $36.80 for this pen. Okay, so less than $40. It would be ideal if you would get a converter, but you don't. And the reason I mention that is these are, of course, proprietary cartridges and converters. So if you don't have a Sailor converter, you won't be able to use any of your other converters or cartridges for that matter on this pen. Let's see how it writes. I'll zoom out a little bit. Just posting it because this one I really like to post. For me, unposted, it's a bit too small. I don't find it very comfortable. Okay. The Sailor Lecoule nib is MF and the ink is Sailor Black in a cartridge that came with the pen. Now, one thing I noticed as soon as I inked up this pen and started to play with it, this is not a smooth nib. This is a nib with a lot of feedback. So what I'm going to do now is shut up. The camera and microphone always picks up the sound of nibs very strongly, tends to amplify it a little bit, so don't worry too much. I wouldn't say this is a terribly scratchy nib, but this is absolutely not a buttery smooth nib. So if that is what you're looking for, this is not the pen for you to buy. Okay, but just listen to it for a bit. Fast writing. However, it writes. It may have feedback, but this is very smooth rhodia paper. I don't see any skips. And this is just a cartridge, nothing fancy, and the pen writes very consistently. So, even though it has a lot of feedback, I will commend the pen for writing so consistently. And out of the box, nothing was done to this nib. It's a nice, fairly wet writer, which I find surprising too, because often I find that these types of nibs in this price segment, tend to be quite dry. This is actually really nice. So I have nothing to complain about. Line variation, well, it's not a flex nib. As always, very careful. Sailor nibs also tend to be a bit rigid. Yeah, there is maybe a tiny bit of line variation to be had, but this is not a nib I would push. Finally, reverse writing. It's possible. Now, you already start out with a fine nib, which is really quite fine. And now you go to an extra fine, or maybe even extra fine, but as you can see, it does seem to keep up relatively well with the writing, and of course then it runs dry. But I think with the normal writing, the ink flow keeps up for at least a few words, and then it probably will run dry. Okay, so the Sailor Lecoule. Let's see what I like about it, what I not like about it. Okay, what do I like, what do I not like about the Sailor Lecoule? Well, I think there's a couple of things that are really likable. First of all, it's affordable. Current conversion rate from £29.95, right, UK? Seller in the UK, 36.80 US. So converted to whatever currency you use, it's not really terrible. Less than $40 for a pen, I think. You have to accept that as being an affordable pen, and affordable pens may come with certain compromises. They may feel a little cheap, or they may not write so well, but in this case, the pen writes really well. I find that the most important aspect of a pen, obviously, it writes very consistently. I put a cartridge in and started writing, it didn't stop writing, it didn't run dry, didn't have any startup issues, didn't have anything bad. And that I think is really nice. However, having said that, and maybe that is that one compromise, the nib is very feedbacky. And Sailor nibs can have a little bit of a typical feedback, but this is really feedbacky. There is a strong feedback as you write, and that may not be for everyone. It's also a smaller pen, that's for sure. This is really pushing it for me to use unposted, but posted it's fine, so that's not really a big deal. There is no converter supplied in a $40 pen. Yeah, should you not? Average converter is what, $7 or $8, so that might probably add a little bit to the price. The pen's affordable, it writes well, it writes consistently, it has some nice features like the clear feed. I really think that is a cool touch that I've always enjoyed. I like that the finial and the end cap and the barrel are clear. I think that adds just a little bit of visual appeal to this pen. In all, I think it's a cool pen. This would be a nice starter pen. This would be a nice pen to give to someone. I think this would be a good school pen for children. Also, because of the somewhat smaller size, it would be very comfortable for them to use. I think it's a nice pen, especially given the price. So, I hope this was useful, and I'll gladly see you later. Bye bye.